So John and I have been together 40 years, and we've touched upon some different themes in our previous relationship videos. And today we're going to talk about what are the strengths that we have, that we bring to the relationship. I think it's fair to say we're our best friends. Mm-hmm. We've seen each other through some challenges. Both of my parents have died while we've been together, and both of John's parents have died while we've been together. We've created a great home. We have lots of wonderful memories that we've created. We laugh a lot. So obviously, we've brought something to make this work. And so today we want to talk about that. So John, what do you think are the strengths that you bring to the relationship?
Well, my family was doing things in an upper middle class way. My mother was very patrician. You know, she was a monarchist. And that brought a certain way of doing things to the relationship.
And that would differ from my family, because my family, I wouldn't say we're upper middle class at all. We're very kind of basic, kind of rural, down-to-earth folks.
Your family were leaders in their community, in a rural community.
Yep. But your family had a lot more artistic and cultural backgrounds that I was never exposed to. Okay.
Over the years, we've brought stability at home and stability in finances. As someone who worked in the banking system, I was able to negotiate mortgages for us.
And in those early days, his salary was much more than mine. So we were able to enjoy a standard of living that I would never have had in those early days. Over the years, I caught up a little bit.
I was supportive of Brent's calling. I realized that the human rights work he was doing was much more important than the computer jobs that I had in a bank or wherever.
I think you're being hard on yourself, because I think that absolutely you were supportive, but I could never have done what I did without you. I could never have done the things that I accomplished, whether human rights or at the church or with this new organization, Rainbow Faith and Freedom, without your support there. So you, your job, your background, all of that made possible for me to do what I did.
Well, thank you. I've stuck by you during the craziness of all sorts of things, and I brought into the relationship an interest in working out, in antiques, and music, and art, and steampunk, and medievalism.
Yes, he has a very diverse group of interests, and it has exposed me to so many. I've been through so many museums and art galleries that I never would have gone to at all. John loves old things and old history and old clothes and all kinds of stuff, and I used to be really upset that John was into old things until I realized I was one of them. So then I kind of accepted the idea. So John, I have a few more things to add that I think that you bring to this relationship. Certainly your art and music has exposed me to so much things. Just in terms of your art, I now notice the colors of the trees and flowers and things so much more, having seen you paint and talk about your art. It's amazing. You also brought in an ability to entertain yourself, because my hours, more in the past than now, were crazy, long hours, weekends busy, etc. And so you're able to entertain yourself and not be upset. Right? And so that gave me some freedom, and that was really good. You brought a commitment to spirituality in church. Now, originally, that was my thing, and I pulled you in, right? But since I retired, he's much more wanting to go to church than I do. So that's been great. His interest in the gym, originally, he pulled me there kicking and screaming, and I didn't do much. But in later years, I became much more active and much more interested in it because I knew about it and felt more comfortable. And the same thing with meditation. John tried to get me to meditate years ago. It didn't work. It took a while, but now meditation is a central core of my spirituality, and that was a gift that he gave me. And yes, his support for my ministry, but also his support for my academic work. I took a Master of Divinity degree after I was working full-time, and he would type my essays and take care of all that. And then he nagged me into doing my Doctor of Ministry degree, and I was a little resentful, but I went along, and then subsequently realized how crucial that was later in life.
And what strengths do you think you're bringing to the relationship?
I think my people skills, and whether that's been dealing with contractors or organizing friends or surprise parties or whatever. My organizational planning skills. I'm very quick to be able to put a plan together to deal with something, and whether that's how to get twice as much stuff in the trunk of the car, or whether that's how to organize a vacation. I remember the first time we ever went on vacation, and we were planning ahead of time, and he said, why are we planning 6 months beforehand? And I said, well, there's a thing called booking a hotel or booking a flight, right? Getting those kinds of things organized. And I also think I brought variety. It's never been boring, right?
True,
For
there
40
is
years.
that.
And whether that's involvement in politics or LGBT rights, I also think I brought a lot of patience. John's talked before about being on the spectrum and having Asperger's. Asperger's people are wonderfully gifted, and the Asperger's has meant gifts that they've got, but it's also been some challenges.
Yeah.
And my sense of humor. I can find humor in almost anything, and so sometimes I have to bite my tongue. So I think we've laughed a lot.
I think also you bring a lot of organizational skills to what we do, people skills. Your sense of calling and ministry gave us a common focus that I think has kept us together a lot. And it's been a cornerstone of what we've done in our lives and in our lives together.
Yeah, I think we share a lot of values in terms of our spirituality and things like gratitude and generosity, being able to celebrate all the time and realize how blessed we are. And I think our commitment to social justice, to make sure we leave the world a better place, has been other values as well.
You might take some time to think about your strengths and your partner's strengths in your relationship. And what are you bringing to the table? And how can you build on those strengths? If you're single, why not give an inventory of what you feel your strengths are and talk with some friends about them and figure out how you can build best on your greatest strengths.
Because there are many kinds of relationships, and I think whether it's a friendship relationship or a colleague relationship, we all have skills that we bring to that situation, and to know what skills you bring and to be able to celebrate them and to celebrate the skills of others will help that relationship, whether it's a long-term relationship or whether it's a colleague at work kind of relationship or a friendship. So I hope you found this video helpful and encourage you to share it with others.
And thank you for watching.
Hey, bye.